Welcome back, everyone, to another Coach Blinkers podcast. This is, I think, number 7. I actually forgot. I'm going to say it's number 7, but I could be wrong. Today, we're going to be talking about ranked anxiety, just anxiety in general for League of Legends, because it is a very common thing, and I even experienced it myself. One of the times that I experienced it was not necessarily when I was first getting into League of Legends. It was actually once I got better at it. Once I got better at League, I felt like the people that I'm playing with might be too good for me. And that ranked anxiety came up where it was like, oh, I'm actually winning more. I'm winning more. And you get to another rank and it's like, can I even play with these guys? And I've been in that situation before when I first hit Diamond a couple of seasons ago, or a few seasons ago. And I had that feeling. I had that feeling of like, I've never really been here before. Like, this is new. And the higher you go up within Diamond, the closer you get to like playing with Masters. And so when I peaked D2, that's when I stopped and really started to hardcore coach. But that area, I had some people that fell kind of from Masters, and I had to play with them. And then I started playing with streamers and big names, and it really got to me. But fortunately, I prevailed, right? The ranked anxiety only lasts as long as you let it last. So before we get into it, though, I always, of course, start with a quote. Also, before we get into it, I want to say that workshop that we had on Saturday was a success. If you guys want to participate in the next workshop, it is going to be, I'm looking at the calendar right now, ADC is going to be on Saturday, 6 p.m. Central. It's a workshop for 1 hour, and it helps you improve at being better at not just a player, but at that specific role, which is why I have them separated in the first place. The week after, it's going to be support. So those are the two the workshops that we're going to have. Each workshop is recorded and it is put on my Patreon, so you guys can watch it at your own leisure if you happen to miss it, or if you just want to rewatch it for your personal information. And I don't know why I just stopped, but and I think because I forgot it was a podcast. Like I said, I'm always in video mode, but I forget it's a podcast. And also, of course, coaching. I actually plan to put a video out on what pretty much is going on during the workshops, and I'm going to put a video out of what's going on during coachings, because I think some people might be confused about how coaching works, and I think some people might be confused on how workshop works. So I think I'm going to make a video to kind of clarify on both of those and what those particularly mean and do. But of course, workshop, Patreon, take a look at it, and then the coaching, coachblinkers.com. Book that. You can either book the VOD review where I record it for you, and then I send you it, or you can do the VOD review with Coach, where we go over a specific game together, and you can have it recorded if you want. And then the third one, of course, is coaching, which we have the one-on-one session for an hour long. So anyway, back to the point here. I always want to start off with a quote, and the first quote that I want to start off with is this one here. I need to find it. I had it, and then I lost it. Okay, maybe. All right, I had 2, but I'm just going to do 1 because I lost the other one. So the quote here is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And why is that important when it comes down to ranked anxiety? Because you might be looking at it in a light where it's not really a good way to look at it. It's not healthy, right? You might be looking at, I don't want to play ranked because I don't want to be placed at a low rank. I don't want to play ranked because I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't want to play ranked because I feel like it's too try hard. I don't want to play ranked because I feel like I don't have enough time to climb when I do start ranked. Like, there's a lot of these specific reasons why people say, well, I don't want to do it, or, you might have that ranked anxiety. Whether you say, hey, I have anxiety or not, the fact that you're not doing it shows that you do. And it's okay. As I said before, everybody has had ranked anxiety. It's just there. Nobody just ever, okay, obviously that's wrong. No, I feel like almost everybody has had it, whether it's to a high degree or a low degree. Everybody's has experienced it at one point. Whether or not it stops you from playing is obviously a different thing in itself. When we think about ranked like that, we put ourselves into a hole where you're not really remembering that ranked is kind of a way to test your skill. Ranked is a way to really see how good you are. right? And then once you really get that margin of how good you are, you'll start to stagnate. But that's a good thing, because then that means you'll be able to start learning, right? We don't hop into ranked when we're quote unquote ready, because that doesn't exist. Even if you've been playing ranked for years, you're never going to be ready, because you'll never be, rank 1 every single season. You have to work to get there all the time. No matter if you've been ranked 1 before, you have to still work to get back to rank 1. And so you're never really ideally ready, because every time you play the game, every time you play ranked, you are going to have to learn. Now, you might not have anxiety about the fact that, I'm scared of like being B, or I don't want to be low ranked. You might not have that. You might have that anxiety about, I feel like ranked is just too hard and it's too much to learn, and I don't want to have to go and learn all that. That's a thing too. I've seen it through students. That's a thing too, where it feels like there's just way too much about this game that I have to learn, and I just don't think I can do it. Once again, League is a specific, the way you play League, more or less, is dictated kind of by your champion. If you feel like, I don't want to go out my way to be, going through that much work to learn the game, play the champs that Riot gave you to not have to learn so much, but can be very, very successful with what you do know. That in itself cures pretty much that ranked anxiety for like, I don't want to have a knowledge overload. The reason why you want to get rid of ranked anxiety is because, not even just in ranked in general, but anxiety in general keeps you from doing a lot of things that you could be really good at. What if you are the next Faker? What if you are the next Uzi? What if you are the next Aftermoon? I don't know. I'm just thinking of players. But what if you are like this really, really good player, and because you have that anxiety, you don't ever get to play ranked and you don't ever get to show it? What if you come to me and you're like, Coach, I got to master in literally 3 weeks? I'd be like, what? How? Right? That could be you. You could be the person to get to master in 3 weeks. But what's keeping you from doing it? The fact that you don't want to play. The fact that you don't want to spend the time to play. And it's okay if you're just like, I'm a casual player. I just don't want to play ranked. It's not that I'm afraid to play ranked. I just rather play normals. I get it. That's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But the problem comes when, you're the player that plays normals, and your response to playing ranked is never, I just don't want to, because I just like playing normals. Your response is more on the lines of like, there's no reason for it. It just doesn't matter. Or, I don't really think I need to play that to see how good I am. Just little kind of, I guess you want to say excuses. But you've been playing the game for so long. You've been playing for so many years. Why not play ranked? If you spend a lot of you spend a lot of time on this game, you should play ranked. If you're competitive, even in normals, you should play ranked. There are some players that just aren't competitive at all. I know some. I know people in general. You're just not a competitive person. That's all right. You don't have to really be. You could, like I said, experience those normals. But a lot of players in normals, even if it's your friends, I'm pretty sure you have one, that say, I don't want to play ranked because XYZ, they're super competitive in normals. So then it's like, well, if you're going to be competitive, if you're going to always try to get better anyway, why not just take that into ranked? Or they'll probably play flex, but they won't solo. Or they probably will duo, but they'll never solo. Right? This type of anxiety leads to players becoming worse. I actually had a student, and if you know who you are, you don't have to say anything. I'm not going to say your name. But I had a student that felt like they needed to have a duo in order to climb, because they weren't doing that well, which is funny because they were doing well before this point hit. But of course, once you start losing, you start doubting yourself. They were on like a 12-game lose streak or whatever. We met again and we talked about it and we discussed it. And I was like, I don't really think it's a good idea to say that. I don't think it's a really good idea to think that. I think you're pretty solid as long as you just take a deep breath, stop playing when you don't want to and go back when you can. And so they did, and they started climbing and they started promoting. And all it took was that little talk. Obviously the meeting and talk about some other stuff in their play, of course. But that's what I mean. Like, you don't want to put yourself in that position to think that, oh, well, I need a duo. Or to think that I don't want to play because I won't get better. I won't climb. There's 4 other players on your team. You don't need to be the superstar to win your ranked games. It's perfectly fine to just chill and coast. As long as you do your part as your role, you're gonna climb. You don't need to be that big boy on top Superman. If that's not the way you want to play, then you don't have to play that way. Riot's very good at making sure you can play kind of however you want to play and still win your games. The other thing might be, I don't want to be flamed, or people. I mean, honestly, that doesn't even make sense anymore because people flame like crazy in normals, right? People flame like crazy in normals, right? So I don't think that actually applies anymore at this point. But I mean, before, people didn't usually used to flame each other, and normals was just really for fun. People would be like, "Well, I don't want to play ranked because I don't want to have to deal with those type of players." Well, now those type of players infested normals, so it kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. The way you can get past having that ranked anxiety, the way you can get past of just getting over that hump. Honestly, if you just play all your placements and you see that rank, well, actually, you don't need to play your placements. Honestly, you could just play that first game and you see the rank that Riot gave you. That usually kickstarts the mojo you need to be like, I'm about to climb. All you need to do is see that rank. A lot of people have this issue because they're like, well, I don't see my rank. I don't know what I'll be placed, and I don't want to be placed because I'm scared to be placed. No. Play that first place. I promise you. Play that first placement and see that rank that you got. That will motivate you to either climb or, of course, if you're like, well, I got placed gold. Well, then that will motivate you to finish your placement so then you can stay at gold or whatever you're trying to do. And that way, you're basically battling that anxiety on accident. You're not really like facing it head on, but it's kind of kicking its course by itself. And then once you're actually in ranked, like your feed is in ranked already, then you'll just take off. Then you'll be ready to play constantly because you'll want to climb, you'll want to improve. But all it takes is that first step. After you have that first step, you are good to go. Now, I just want to kind of cycle back to that duo ranked anxiety. The reason you might think that I need a duo to climb is probably going to be something along the lines of, I just want someone that is stupid. I mean, not that's that stupid. I want someone that is less stupid. And then that makes my games easier. Fun fact, if you duo, your games are actually a lot harder. So there's that. Also, if you lose with the duo, your MMR takes a big hit. So there's that. But the reality of it is you feel like you're not good enough to win by yourself, so you need a duo. That's the reality. And once again, face that head on. If you feel like you're not good enough to win by yourself, then why do you want to climb in the first place? Why don't you just get better and then be able to solo? Why do you have to depend on someone? Playing duos with like someone for fun is fine. I know a lot of people that do that. I'll say this to that. You need to have more solo games than duo games to feel like you're not dependent on somebody. Because if you are and you play too many games with people, you're going to end up in a really bad situation where you're going to be in an elo too high and you can't play by yourself ever. Or you're going to be in a situation where you're not going to learn anything because your duo is pretty much doing what you fail at. If I suck at like tracking the jungler and I get ganked all the time, but I do it my duo and he always tells me where the jungler is, that's a skill I'm not going to have. And so if we ever stop duoing and we're in a higher rank, I'm going to die to ganks and repeat and not have to worry about a lot more than just getting better at that. So that's what I'll say to that. You need to make sure that you have more games by yourself than you do with an actual duo. I kind of just wanted to make this talk because I really felt like ranked anxiety is something that kicks a lot of people in the butt. And I just want to let you guys know it is okay to have ranked anxiety. It is common. And the first step to kind of battling that is just play that first placement. And the rest of it will take its course. I promise you. And of course, if you need to talk or you have any questions, make sure you DM me on Discord or just let me know in the comments below. One more time, the workshop, if you guys want to be a part of the workshop, this week is ADC Saturday at 6 p.m. Sign up for that. If you don't know how to sign up, go to my important news in my Discord, and it will tell you how to sign up for that. Now, when we're talking about the coaching, CoachBlaker.com, once again, you got 3 types. The VOD review, where I just record the game, do a VOD review, take notes, and I send them to you. The VOD review with the coach, where we sit down and we go over that VOD together, and we take notes together, and then I send you on your way. Or the coaching session, where we actually have a full-blown coaching session one-on-one. So if any of those interest you, if you're really trying to get better, if you're really trying to improve your play, I would suggest taking advantage of one of those 4 things. And then, of course, if you need help, let me know in the Rank Advice tab of my Discord, and I will try to respond to you. Thank you guys for watching and listening to Coach Blake's podcast, and I will talk to you guys next time.